Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter right now. My name is Rebecca Johns, and it is my privilege to bring to the world a conversation with a dear friend, sister, colleague, Stephanie Dawn. Welcome, Steph.
Good morning, Rebecca.
Good,
Hello.
good to see your beautiful face shining at me today.
It's good to be here from my humble abode, my bed. As a matter of
You're,
fact, I'm spending a lot of time in bed these days, Rebecca. Yeah,
pretty warranted. Pretty warranted, I'd say.
yeah.
So, I entitled this live Supporting Stephanie Dawn Stage 4 Cancer Recovery. Obviously, that is what we are doing.
Mm.
Some people who may tune in and watch this stuff, whether live or on the replay, know your story. And so they're just like, this is there to be continued. They're like picking up and we're just turning the page for them. But some people don't.
Right.
And they're possibly wondering what's going on. How do you deal with stage 4 cancer? What kind of cancer? Why are you doing this fundraiser? Why are you not doing something else? Like, do you have insurance? There, people have questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel very strongly that to properly support you, that we need to be owners with you in understanding the terrain you're traveling on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, we'll be on. For those of you watching, this is going to be like a 20, 25-minute conversation. We're going to be back every single day this week on various platforms sharing Stephanie's story. But today I kind of wanted to start at the beginning with you. Can you talk to us on whatever's on your heart to share, but give us a snapshot about what you're facing and how this is kind of part of a journey that you've already been on, and what's different.
Sure. Thank you for your time and your love. I really appreciate it.
I'm a sucker for you, Stephanie Dawn. Been in love with you since I met you.
Thank you so much. So, 4 years ago, I received a breast cancer diagnosis. Tumors in both breasts, two different types of cancers. And it had seemingly metastasized to the lymph node, so stage 3 cancer diagnosis. And I had a very large tumor in my right breast. It had been growing for over a year, and I'd kind of had my head in the sand, to be honest. I didn't know what it was.
Meaning like avoiding it, like something was going on and you just were kind of like, whatever.
Yeah, at that point, I didn't have a general practitioner. She'd left Los Angeles, and I didn't have somebody to talk to about it. I did talk with several girlfriends, and I honestly wish that several of those girlfriends had said, you need to get this looked at right now. That's what I wished.
Note to us ladies.
Yeah.
That's coaching.
Yeah. You need to get this looked at right now, because I didn't. And what ultimately ended up happening was I went to urgent care for another reason. I was having severe migraine headaches, really horrible, like 1 to 3 a week, out of the blue, Rebecca. Like they just came on, and I was like, what is going on with me? And so I went to urgent care, and the doctor that was caring for me, somehow we started talking about my breast, and he said, you need to see an oncologist this week. And I was like, oh, joy. So I went and saw an oncologist that week and immediately got into the Western medical oncology swirl. I ended up enduring 3 horrendous biopsies, one in each breast, and then one in my lymph nodes under my arm. And the reason why I say horrendous is because they don't just go in once. They go in 5 times into your breast in the exact same spot to get their cells, whatever they need to get, right? So it was so invasive and just really, I just wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. And so, sure enough, it came back with stage 3. And the oncologist wanted to put me on, you know, chemotherapy and hormone blockers yesterday. And at that point, as we were waiting between the biopsy and then going to see the oncologist, I'd started doing my research. I actually started doing my research like a week or two before because I suspected that I was dealing with cancer, but I didn't know for sure. And I started learning about alternative pathways to heal my body, and pretty quickly made the decision to go to Hope for Cancer in Mexico, which is a beautiful anti-cancer facility in Tijuana, right on the beach. And I went there for my first 3-week stint. And I just walked through the doors and I was just like, oh, I mean, they are just, it was such an embrace of love. And it really felt like God's work was happening there. And I felt at home immediately. And I was cared for every single day. I had 2 nurses a day, a morning nurse and a nighttime nurse. I had 3 organic meals a day prepared for me, or like totally gourmet. They did my laundry. Um, it was an inpatient experience. So I was, so throughout the day, I was doing all manner of detox protocols for 3 weeks. And I had family staying there with me. I had my sister there one week, my stepmom there the second week, and my birth mom there the third week. And it was amazing. It was just
Wow.
amazing. Yeah. So we did things like hyperthermia, where you force a fever up to 104 degrees. I did that daily, actually. One of the ways I did it was you insert your body into this like half circle pizza oven, they called it, and you just you cover yourself with a towel. It's laying down around you like this, and your body starts to warm up inside of this little half igloo thing, and you sweat and sweat and sweat for like 45 minutes. And then you come out and there's like fresh coconut water there for you. And you cool down and carry on with your day. So I did that kind of hyperthermia once daily. And the other way that I did it was with the infrared sauna, the far infrared sauna, or near far. I'm a little bit confused about which is which right now, but it's the red light sauna. And so then I did hyperbaric oxygen. I did all kinds of light therapy, and various other PEMF, pulse electromagnetic frequency, um, emotional counseling. It was really full spectrum. It was great, really great. So I entered into their home program for a year, and I had 2 more follow-up visits, Rebecca. And in that first 3-week meeting, like we were really wondering, like, what is going on with the migraines? Were they connected? Because the migraines precipitated the, you know, revealing that I had stage 3 cancer by about a month or so. And so turns out they weren't connected. But what was also kind of mysterious is that they did a CT scan and a X-ray on me, and they didn't see anything in my brain, um, or my head or anything. And so until a year later, at my final follow-up, they found a lesion on the optic nerve of my left eye. And about 2 to 3 weeks after I got back from Hope for Cancer back in 2019, the eye drooped and I lost vision. And then the migraines persisted for another year until that final follow-up, when I went to get the CT scan and they saw the lesion, and And I'm sitting around. I've just arrived there for my final follow up, and I'm having dinner. It's a Sunday night, so I haven't even had any of my follow up scans yet or any testing. And I'm chatting with all the ladies at Hope for Cancer that are coming back for their follow ups. And we're talking about heavy metal toxicity. And all of a sudden, it dawns on me that that's what's going on here. I had had a my mercury amalgams removed by a dentist that didn't know what they were doing, and I didn't know what I was doing, in all honesty. It predated my sort of catapulting into the superfoods
Awareness. Yeah.
health world, right? And so, anyways, I immediately texted my girlfriend Rachel and I said, "Send me everything about heavy metal detox because I think that that's what's going on with my eye." And so I embarked upon a 6 to like 10-month heavy metal detox. I was pretty religious for 6 months, like Monday through Friday. I take the weekends off, and it was a protocol from the medical medium. And within 6 months, the migraines were gone. Yep. But what the daytime migraines were gone. The night, I still had what I called nighttime eye grains. And these would wake me up in the middle of the night, and I'd be tossing and turning. There'd be like a throbbing, right? It was like a low grade, maybe like 2 or 3 on the pain scale, but enough to wake me up in the middle of the night. And um, those are now gone because I kept doing the heavy metal detox. So I'm fairly certain that's what's going on with my eye. It's not related to the breast cancer. It's heavy metal toxicity in my body. So consequently, I found a naturopath up here that I started working with, uh, who I liked. She wasn't like 100% focused on um, cancer, but a girlfriend of mine had gone to see her for her cancer. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll go check her out. So at that point, I was paying insurance and I was paying out of pocket a lot to see this naturopath. I wasn't
No
using
doubt.
yeah, I wasn't using my insurance at all. Just realizing that I'm not entirely centered here. Oh, I'm like
She's
falling.
not ready for her close up, Mr.
I'm,
DeVille.
I'm falling into my pillows here. So, anyways, after paying insurance for an entire year, a whopping $700 a month, I stopped because I wasn't using the insurance and I was paying out of pocket and I could not keep it all going, Rebecca, with all the supplements I was taking. And I'm like, this is insane. Why isn't insurance covering all these supplements I'm taking? Right. So fast forward to now, and why I'm in bed. 3 weeks ago, this coming Wednesday, I fell on my back porch and I fractured my lower pelvis, which is very unusual for a woman of 58 to fracture or break a bone because our bones are really, really, really strong. So the doctor that I went to see at the ER kind of knew that something was amiss. And so he asked if we could do a CT scan, and I said yes. And what he found was what's called osteolytic lesions. And these osteolytic lesions point to either metastatic or benign cancer in the bone. And I'm going to go with metastatic because for the last 4 months, I have had severe back pain from out of the blue. I didn't fall, I didn't sneeze, it just came out of the blue. And there was a lot of emotional stuff going on for me with my family, and I thought that that's what it was, but now I know better. It was the cancer in my spine. So it's called metastatic breast cancer to the bones, which is different somehow from bone cancer. I'm not exactly sure, but it's different. So I am, in order to heal a fracture, the prescription is bed rest and painkillers. hence the reason why I'm in my bed. So I do have my walker right next to me here, and I do have a wheelchair right over there. So I'm, I get around my home like a little invalid, and I actually did the dishes a couple days ago. That felt really good, and I prepared a meal for myself the other day, which also felt really good. But for the most part, I have been relying on friends, family, and loved ones, locally and globally. So that should catch you up to date on
That makes us great.
where I am.
So now we're healing the pelvic break,
Yeah.
and we have a stage 4 metastatic breast cancer to the bones diagnosis.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's stage 4 for anyone wondering. Um, this is obviously going to be and is a massive undertaking of rehauling your health. But not like because you've been living on McDonald's. Not for some people, they might hear that like she's been living wrong, so to speak. But people don't even know that this is happening like dead center of another one of your commitments to deepening your own well-being. You're doing what, 90 days? You were already doing like a raw vegan detox, right? So Stephanie, you're not someone who has a background. I mean, definitely, even especially at the last decade, but I mean, historically, you don't have a fast food, commercially fed lifestyle.
Well, so let's just stop you for 1 second.
Mm,
Yes. Mm-hmm. Right. So sometimes when we fall in love, we adopt our lovers' habits.
girl, preach.
Hmm. So I was predominantly vegetarian when I met my now ex, and he loved to eat. And he was raised in the standard American diet. And so, it's not, I don't want to blame him at all. I take 100% responsibility.
Right, right. But you found yourself adhering to another lifestyle.
Oh yeah, I was doing things that I would never ordinarily eat, like Jimmy Dean sausage. Like that was his favorite, Jimmy Dean sausage. And my family would eat that every now and again on a Sunday, my family of origin, but he ate it all the time.
Hmm.
And so I started eating things more often than I would. And I just became a little bit lackadaisical with my diet. Um, Up until 7 years ago when I found our superfoods community, I'm like, yeah, I need to make some changes because I was like 50 pounds overweight and really struggling with perimenopause. And I had not prioritized my well-being, my health. I prioritized my well-being and I taught self-care, but nutrition eluded me.
Yeah,
Somehow it just eluded me.
yeah.
Like I would go to the spa and I would get massages and I would go to acupuncture and, Reiki. I would get all kinds of different healers to work on me and a lot of talk therapy. Um, but nutrition eluded me. And so I was with that fellow for 15 years.
Mhm.
And when I look back on my habits, the dietary damage is very clear.
Yeah,
My lymphatic system was on overdrive. And when your lymphatic system can't take out the trash, it plunks it in fatty parts of the body and organs. And so for me, it was the breasts. So, yeah, just to clarify that a little bit for you.
I appreciate it. I don't want any of us to be in a mythology. Um, so we're fundraising for you.
Mm,
Yeah, we're out to generate $50,000 via your GoFundMe campaign. So on the thread of this video, after we're complete with our live, we'll make sure that GoFundMe link is there for everyone to donate to. You're somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000 right now, so we've got work to do. And this money, y'all, is for directly caring for Stephanie. She has a teenage son that lives with her. This is clearly interrupting her ability to work and provide for her family as she is accustomed. Um, I just got off a live a minute ago, just before jumping on. Those of you who are watching, you may have just seen me do that live. You're like, she's back? Does she want more money? Yes, I do. I want more of your money. Okay. And not for me. But I was just sharing, with the family in Uganda. There's a church there, and they have an orphanage with 85 children and 60 elderly. And we don't think elderly when we think orphans, but that's there. I said that the human family is truly a body. I mean, we might not be conscious to that and act like it. But the human family is a body. And when there's a pain over here that diminishes me and the human family, when there's a suffering, an ailment, a calamity over here, and my part of the body is down, it creates a stagnation in the whole system of humanity. And then we say things like homelessness is a problem. No, 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 homelessness isn't the problem. It's the consequence of the problem, which is we neglect each other. Why this village in Kampala has 85 orphaned children and 60 orphaned elderly is because somebody was like, I'm done owning you. Okay, that's a wrap. We've stopped owning each other. And so I want to be really clear with you, but also everyone that's paying attention this week as we do these lives. And, these lives aren't the last of the lives we're going to be doing. But Stephanie and I agreed that every day this week we were going to go live in an interest to really focus and align our intentions that this part of the body that is hurting, who we will call Stephanie Dawn, is a part of the human body that is hurting. And when one part of your body hurts, the whole rest of it responds. Yeah? You stub your toe and your face goes like this. Why is your face doing that? You didn't stub your face. You stubbed your toe. And so you're a part of the body. We have stubbed a toe. And so I, as a face, I'm doing this for you right now. And that's why I'm responding. That's why these daily lives, that's why this conversation, and that's why my stand for you, Steph, that people recognize, as I said to you, the Uganda family, we all find ourselves in a moment of need, some point in life. All of us, none of us are beyond the human condition. And if you don't need it, and don't think you need it, I'll tell you there are 2 times you're absolutely going to need it, and that's when you're being birthed and when you're being buried. Mm-hmm. And so it's a pretense. It's inauthentic to behave like we don't need each other in between.
Yeah.
So what's it like for you right now? Being in a position where you're really counting on people to see you, recognize what's happening over there, and find it in themselves to support. Where are you at mentally, emotionally with that process?
So
it's enough your circumstance. Like, if you had everything you needed over there and didn't need anything from anybody, it's enough just the circumstance. But now you don't have enough to cover it on your own. So now you're dealing with the circumstance plus who's out there going to be supportive. So where does that put your head, heart?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so this is the second time that I've done this. I did it 4 years ago. And that was really hard 4 years ago
Mm.
because I am very independent woman, very self-reliant, very like I've got it all handled. I'm good. And I like to be the one that gives, from the overflow. So to be in a place of need and to be in a place of receiving was very humbling then, and it is very humbling now again. These past 4 years have not been easy. I've been going through a divorce. My children were living in California while I was healing up here in the forests of the Pacific Northwest. And I missed my children enormously. I would see them um, at holidays. I'd fly them up here and I'd go down to LA as often as possible. But it was really hard. It was very isolating, 58-year-old woman making a new life for herself on an island in the Pacific Northwest. My family's here, but trying to meet people during a pandemic has not been easy. So, what I do know is that I've been giving a lot to many for decades. And I wasn't really aware of how much I'd been giving until I was in need. And the degree to which people are showing me their love with donations and beyond has been so extraordinary for me, Rebecca. And I see now that my years of making deposits of love and connection and service are coming back to me now, you know? And it's extraordinary. And I truly feel, as I know you know this, that I'm walking with God. I'm being cared for by God. And, via all these people in my life that are showing up in all the ways, locally and globally. And I'm just grateful. I'm just so grateful that I have as many beautiful people as I have in my life. Like, wow. If God said today's your day, Steph, it's time to go, I'd be like, holy shit. I truly got to experience so much love for so many years, and it takes a moment in time like this where my health is seemingly compromised. I don't really identify with being sick, but there's work that I need to do in my body. I don't really even want to call it cancer. There's just stuff that I need to do. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I need to do. But I have lived a very blessed life with some incredible humans. And they're showing up right now.
That's because you've lived a blessed life as an amazing human. Um, a lot of y'all know my personal story. And 2 years ago, 2 years, 3 months, and some days, I was in a car accident. A woman ran a red light and totaled the vehicle I was in, almost killing me. Um, I'm blind in my right eye. My lungs were collapsed, my spine broken, my face, my skull paralyzed in my left side. And Brian and I were separated at that time. That was a hard time in my life. And so I was a single mom with 13 and 10-year-old boys at home. And there's something about asking for help that changes you.
Yeah.
And you helped me, Stephanie. You made sure that you helped me then. So I personally have been on the receiving end of your generosity and your brilliance and your love. And I firsthand have seen and witnessed the caliber of human being that you are and have been. And therefore, I stand with you. I stand in solidarity with you. I stand in agreement for your healing and recovery. I stand in agreement for a world of people to see you and give, that your need would be met and then some. I remember I remember at one point having so much given to me that I had extra. And there was a family in my community that I knew about who really had it hard. And I mean, I had it hard medically and I couldn't work and that kind of thing, but they had other circumstances. So I was able to take some of the things that we were given, the overflow, the food that couldn't fit in my cabinets, overflow. People were bringing me shampoos and soaps and household cleaning supplies. Like people were filling the gaps in play. I was like, somebody brought me body lotion. I'm like, who would think? And they're like, now it's got essential oils in it. So rub it into that arm that's paralyzed. And what, people were thoughtful and I had overflow. And so I had my oldest son take over a big basket of extra for another family. And that's the kind of overflow I'm envisioning for you, Stephanie, is that so much comes into you that you're not only restored in your own health, but you have extra. And the overflow cascades out of your full cup and sets you in course for the future of your life, which is continued giving out of your fullness. That is the vision I am holding, the light and the love and the prayer that I'm holding for you. And I believe it's possible. I don't say it like pie in the sky. Like, wouldn't it be great if it would be possible in this world if one day somebody could? No, I believe. I believe. So, $42,000 plus we're raising now to hit the 50K mark. It's going to all of your personal care, making sure that your household and son are cared for. Any facility that you might go to, any doctors, any supplies. So those of you that are watching, you know what I'm doing. I'm asking you to give. I'm asking you to give, and I'm asking you to not rebuke your own seed. Meaning some of you are going to have a little mustard seed to give. They're real tiny. Some of you are going to have like avocado pits to give, right? They're huge. But don't rebuke it. No, we're not saying judge and evaluate the seed you're giving. We're just saying, please sow into this effort. Please give what the seed that you have. Bless it. I got $5 for you, Steph. I don't know what's going to get you. Maybe a couple organic carrots, but there you go. Bless it and plant it because it is an orchard that we are growing. It's not reliant on one. We're building an orchard so that there's surplus.
Yeah. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. And I have received several $5 donations. And then yesterday I received the whopping $1,000 donation, which just absolutely blew my mind.
She sends me a text. She's like, look what just happened. I'm like, yes, this.
Yeah.
And those $5 gave you the momentum. That's momentum. That's like giving, boom. Giving, boom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was really exciting. And I did figure out who it was actually.
Did you?
Somebody that I've known online forever. And he's just one of my fans. He left a message when he made the donation, and I read the message this morning. I'm like, oh, I know who this is. So that was really, really,
So
really
glad.
precious. And yes, every single amount matters. And
Yes.
yeah, no, those organic carrots do matter. You know, I'm juicing organic carrots weekly right now. So I've already had my carrot, ginger, turmeric, orange juice this morning. And you know, I truly believe in the power of foods to heal, and we can talk a lot more about that over the next several days. But thank you so much for showing up for me and for everybody the way you do, and just being such a gorgeous stand for the Holy Spirit to move through you and, you know, radiate outwards in all directions. Like, I see you.
I see you, sister. I see you. Well, let me cover you in a prayer, Stephanie, and then you and I are going to be back. I don't have the schedule in front of me of what times we said we were going to go live this week. I
I'll
totally
find
dropped the
it.
ball.
I'll find
But
it. I'll find it.
we're going to go live every day this week, Stephanie and I. We're going to talk more about some of the specific therapies. We're going to talk about the nutrition. We're going to talk about her superfoods. We're going to be going deep into we're going to talk about the journey of prayer and spirit. We're going to talk about all these little nooks and crannies so that y'all can be in this experience with her. You know, if there's anything I want to really acknowledge you for, Steph, is how transparent and authentic you are, and how willing you are to share your story, to give other people something to guide themselves by. A lot of times when we're at our worst, we go in and we're hiding it. We're kind of, I call it putting lipstick on a pig and calling it your cousin. Like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good. And it's like, no, you ain't fine, baby. You ain't good. You need some help. Why don't you ask for it?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's an audacious being that's in there to be like, so here's my human, and this is what's going on with her. I thank you for that.
Right.
But we want this week to be for Stephanie. I want this week to be for Stephanie. Let me not put her mouth on it. Let me put my mouth on it. I want this week to be for Stephanie to reach her $50,000 goal. However, I also want this to be for the community to receive inspiration, motivation, accountability, education and information, access to resources. You're going to hear every day this week as we're talking, we're going to be name dropping all week long products, services, practices, foods, supplements, homeopathics. She and I are going to be dropping bombs on you of knowledge.
Yeah. And we're also going to be talking about allopathy versus the natural path. That's something I'm very, very, very passionate about. So
I think that's super important.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, let's say a blessing over our sister friend here. Come into agreement with me. Everybody gather around. Gather around, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. Gather around. Gather around. Your job is just to receive and metabolize, Steph. Let it literally synthesize, work synergistically in you. We are literally all acting as funnels now to make sure that everything meant for Stephanie Dawn gets to Stephanie Dawn wholly, completely, starting with breath. And so it is with gratitude that I lift up my sister, my friend, my colleague, my teacher, my student, my mother, my daughter. Where there is one of us, there is all of us. And so as I lift her up, I lift us all up. That as we stand for Stephanie's elevation, transfiguration, healing, and peace, we charge and activate ourselves for our own and for the world's. I give thanks for the life of Stephanie Dawn, every moment that has been, for this one that we have been able to share, and for every moment coming forth. I give thanks and appreciation for the knowledge and wisdom, the innovation, the creativity that is being forged and exercised for her sake and for the sake of healing any one of us who calls it forth to themselves. I give thanks for the many who are gathering to say, Stephanie, Dawn, we love you. We say, stay right where you are. Let's redesign this together. Let's restructure, redistribute, realign, reposition. Let us reorganize, re-architect, re-blueprint, re-execute. The mentality, emotionality, physicality, and spirituality that is embodied and expressed through the manifestation we refer to as Stephanie Dawn. Let the giving flow and the receiving root for the fruit of what has been given. So we agree. And so it is.
So it is.
Amen and amen.
Amen.
Thank you for those that have stuck around for this prayer. I see you. I can't see who you are, but I see you out there. And thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you and the chance to be your partner in this walk.
So beautiful. God bless you.
God bless you, sister. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.